Good morning and you're welcome back to the channel. It's always beautiful to have you here. Today we're going to discuss bioterrorism and biocrime. This is an interesting aspect of forensic science as we continue in our discourse of forensic microbiology. So what is bioterrorism and biocrime? When we talk about bioterrorism, we are talking about the disruption of society and governments on a very large scale using biological agents and weapons. So any person or group of persons who use their knowledge or use their access to biological agents that can cause harm, can cause terror, can cause illness and disease, and target such weapons at government functionaries or government institutions, and then the society, the large society, the society at large, that kind of activity is what we refer to as bioterrorism. And this has been known to happen in the past in, a lot of areas in the US and some other places. Then when you talk about biocrime, these two terms are interchangeable. You could, use them one for the other. But then we would look at biocrimes as crimes that are committed, acts that are committed by either one person or a group of persons to bring harm to other individuals in order to achieve a particular purpose. For an example, if an airline is hijacked, for an example, using bioweapons, using agents or biological agents for one purpose or the other, that's biocrime. So you have biocrime, you have bioterrorism. And it's important to note that this, involves the use of bacteria, viruses, fungi, algae, any, biological agent, any biological, cell, molecule that is used and is used by people who have knowledge and know that these things can cause harm, can cause disease, can cause, breakdown of the human body. And it might not even necessarily be the biological agent itself. We use toxins. So, it is when people decide to use their knowledge of science for crime and for evil, and when they employ the use of biological agents, that's what we call biocrime or bioterrorism. Now, this is an important part of our discourse. Now, it's important for us to know that there are some key aspects of bioterrorism investigation, very key aspects of bioterrorism investigation. The first one being detection. It's important to be able to detect what kind of agent is being used. Is it a virus? Is it a bacteria? Is it a parasite? What kind of agent is being used? That's the first step in investigating a biocrime or bioterrorism act. So you want to know what kind of agent is being used as detection, and then you want to have some kind of response. At the beginning, what measures can be taken? What should be taken to try to stem the tide of these particular agents? So that's detection and response. Then the next thing you want to do is to investigate the source and the intent. So at this stage, government and its agencies will be involved. The police, the crime unit, and all of that. They will be involved in trying to find out where is the source of this agent from. Who is it? A foreign national? Is it a foreign body? Are they local terrorists? Who are the ones who want to make use of these agents to destabilize society? So there is need for investigation and investigating the source of intent. This is very important. And then the third part of the aspects of the investigation would be the aspect of prevention and mitigation. Prevention and mitigation is very important. So scientists, government agents, and government itself will then work to looking at how they can prevent these measures from, these acts from happening again. This is quite important. You want to prevent such occurrence from happening again. You want to look at the lapses. You want to look at what made it easy for this to happen, and how to make sure that this doesn't happen again. So these are important aspects of the investigation. It's important to note that bioterrorism is something that been happening, for a long, long time. And it dates back to as far back as when, in the medieval times, when societies used to fight against each other and make use of poisoned arrows. I've seen it in movies where people, look for poison from maybe a plant, poison from maybe an animal, or so, such kind of thing. The person is using his knowledge of the fact that chemical or that biological agent is able to cause harm. And then poisoned arrows are shot against each other, when they are fighting as cities against each other. And that's how that can be said to be the origin of the use of bioweapons. And then it has come down all the way to today. There was an anthrax attack in the United States in 2001, and about 5 people died from this anthrax attack. So the act was such that particular individuals targeted top government functionaries in the United States government by sending to them letters. And these letters had spores of Bacillus anthracis, which is a spore forming uh, bacteria. And they put these spores, and of course, spores are odorless, they are colorless, and they're quite difficult to detect. So they put these spores, sprayed these spores on these letters and sent them out to all these government functionaries and top people in government to try to, kill them, eliminate them, because Bacillus anthracis causes a disease that we know as anthrax. And this disease, brings respiratory problems and makes it difficult for people to draw breath and other complications. So this happened, and this was, caused an awakening among scientists to be able to know that people could use their knowledge of biology to try to cause problems, in government. Now, anthrax, if we look very closely for just a minute or two at the use of anthrax as a bio weapon, why was it really effective, when it was used as a bio weapon? First, like I said earlier, anthrax, forms spores. And this is important because spores they're odorless, they're colorless, they're not even visible to the naked eyes. So it was easy to use them to contaminate letters, and they have these letters sent all around to government functionaries. And this was used to destabilize government. Now, another thing, apart from the fact that they cause spore formation, they also have a very high fatality rate. Science is what we call case fatality rate. That is when people come down with a disease, how many people, what's the percentage of people who are actually killed by this disease, who die as a result of being in contact with this disease. And some diseases have really high case fatality rates, meaning when it has been determined that the individual has been infected by this particular disease, it can be seen that a lot, maybe a high percentage. And in fact, we found out that in the case of anthrax, it had case fatality rates that were, in the 90s, 80s, and 90 percentage. So this makes it a really serious illness. Now, it's very good that we've gotten a basic understanding of what bioweapons are and biocrime is. It's the use of your knowledge, biology, and biological agents to cause harm. Use them to spray panic, to destabilize societies. And some evil people and terrorist people have used knowledge of science, which will be used for positivity in such negative light. Thank you for listening to this. Look out for another video which we'll be doing on the steps that will be taken to actually identify a bioweapon. There are steps that can be taken, there are procedures to be taken, there is caution to be taken by those who are going to involve themselves in such an investigation. Thank you for listening to this. Remember to like, share, and continue to be with us. Have a wonderful day.